Welcome to an example in which we are finding all complex cube roots of -8. So in other words, we're trying to find the cube root of -8, right? Cube means 3. The third root, the cube root. Like square means 2. X, this is called, whoops. This is called x cubed. So a cube root is a third root of -8. Now you might look at that and go, well, I know the answer to that. That's -2, right? Because -2 times -2 times -2 is indeed -8, right? 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So, and 3 negatives make negative. So it's -8. Okay, well, that's true. That's actually one of the answers. Nate, we'll see as we go. -8 is one of the answers, but there's a couple. I'm sorry, -2 is one of the answers, but there's 2 others. All right. So anyway, so that aside, let's do the problem. So let me erase this stuff up here. We're doing the cube root of -8. How do we do it? Well, we can see actually the answers are right here. And so how do we come up with that? Well, here's the steps. So I'm looking back to the notes here. Here's the class notes. And number 13 says root of a complex number. If the question is rectangular form, change to polar form. Is this rectangular form? Yeah, they're giving me this. This is rectangular, meaning it's not polar. It doesn't have an angle. Polar means an angle. It's not polar, it's rectangular. So what do? Well, it says go to number 9 above. So I go up here to number 9. This is the notes for number 9. Here, right up here. So this is the notes for number 9. And it says changing rectangular form to polar. What do? Plot the point to see which quadrant it is and calculate r equals the square root of x squared plus y squared. So let's plot. Now remember, the point is x plus yi, the complex number. So it says right here, the complex number is x plus z equals x plus yi. So that means we've got to write this complex number as -8 plus 0i. Do you see what I did there? That's x plus yi. The -8 is the x, the y is 0. So in other words, you've got to have a real part and an imaginary part. A complex number has a real part and an imaginary part. And so there we go. That's the real imaginary part. And so with that in mind, first thing we have to do is plot the point, see which quadrant it's in, and calculate r. So let's plot this point. So if I was to graph this real quick here. Oops, do that a little bit better. Where would that point be? Back 8, up 0. It'd be like right there. Back 8, up 0. Back 8 plus 0i. So it'd be right there, back 8, up 0. Now, here's the quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. It's right in the middle of quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. So you can use the formula for quadrant 2 or quadrant 3. It'll work either way. I'll just say it's quadrant 2. But 3 would work just as well. Okay, and then calculate r, it said. So r equals the square root of x squared plus y squared. That's the magnitude. So the radial length of it. So this is the x and the y. So that's going to be -8 squared plus 0 squared. So that's the square root of 64 plus 0. Square root of 64, 8. So r is 8. That's step 1 up here. Calculate r. We did that. So we plotted the point, find which quadrant, calculated r. Find the angle. How do you find the angle? Inverse tangent, absolute value y over x, and then adjust for the quadrant. So I go, okay, to find the angle. Angle equals inverse tangent of absolute y over x. So inverse tangent absolute. What is y and what is x again? Again, up here, here's y, here's x. So 0 over -8. So, and that's the reference angle. So the reference angle equals, so what is that? Let's go to the calculator. So here I'm on the Desmos calculator. I'm going to go to functions, inverse tangent of, back to the main, of the absolute value, which is right there, of the absolute value of the fraction. Was it 0 over -8? Yeah, 0 over -8. Enter. It's 0. The answer came out 0. So we go back here. So the reference angle equals 0. That's the reference angle, but that's not our final answer. That's just the reference angle. So then the actual angle, which remember is quadrant 2, equals, so back here, back to the instructions again. So the reference angle is inverse tangent. We did that, okay? Then currently we only have the reference angle. To find the actual angle based on the quadrant, well, we're in the second quadrant. Second quadrant, actual angle equals 180, or pi if you're doing radians. We're doing degrees. 180 minus the reference angle. So 180 minus the reference angle. 180 minus the reference angle. So equals 180 minus 0, huh? So the actual angle, theta, the actual angle is 180. Okay. So what have we got at this point? So now what we've got is we've got the r and the theta. So here's the r and here's the theta. We have changed to polar coordinates. That's what it means. Right there, there's our polar coordinate number. R goes in the front, cosine theta, I sine theta. So I'm going to go, okay. So the polar form, z equals, or you don't need the z. I was going to write r cos theta plus I sine theta. So the r is 8. Right here. 8 cosine 180 plus I sine 180. So there's the polar form. So we just, what did we do? All of that was just changing the original question, which was -8. So it was -8 plus 0i. That's rectangular form, real and imaginary, changing it to polar form. We found the r first off, square root of x squared plus y squared. That came out 8. And then we found the theta, inverse tangent, absolute value y over x, came out 0, but then adjusted it because it was quadrant 2. Right? That's why you always graph it. -8, 0. It's quadrant 2 or quadrant 3. Work either way. It's going to be 180 minus 0, 180. So there it is. There's polar form. So now, so let's get back to it. So I just completed this right here, all the way down to polar form. I changed my rectangular form, my x plus yi, to polar form. Now, come on down here, and this is back here. If the question is in rectangular, change to polar form, see number 9 above. We just did that. Now, number 2, this is how you do the root. So first step, change it to polar form. We did. Because why did we change? Why did we do all that work to change to polar form? Because polar form is easier for doing roots. So now come here. Now that it's in polar form, it's the nth root of that, right? So first off, part A, the new front number equals the nth root of r. So for example, the 5th root of -243, you got to raise that to the 1/5 power in your calculator. You get that. So new front number is nth root of r. So we want, and what root are we doing on this one? This was the cube root. So we'll go down here. We'll go, okay. So we're doing the cube root, 3 root of this entire polar form number. The third root, the cube root of that, the third root of that. How do you do it? So part A. So let me change the color here for clarity. So part A. Front number. So a new front number equals the cube root of A, which is 2. Here, I'll show why that is. How did I come up with that again? It says it right here. The new front number is the nth root of r. So for example, fifth root of that. So it's the nth root of r. So this is our n, by the way. You may say, what's this n? N is 3. N is the amount you're rooting. So I'm doing a third root, so n is 3. So it's the nth root of r. So it's the third root of 8. What is that? That's 8 raised to the 1/3 power. So I'll go to the Desmos calculator and show you that's 2. So 8, or you can just hit the cube root. Or what you can do, I'll show you 2 ways. 8 raised to the power of 1/3, like that. Hit enter. See, it's 2. Or you can do cube root, put a third root there, and put the 8 inside and hit enter. Either way, it's going to be 2. So it's 2. And so that's 2. So that's the new front number. That's the new front number is 2. Okay, that's part A. A lot of steps here. It's the new front number. Find the starting angle, which is theta divided by n, and difference angle, which is 360 divided by n. So let's do that. Part B. Starting angle equals theta divided by n. What's theta? Right here it says theta is 180. So this equals 180 divided by, what's the n? Right here it says n is 3. That's what you're rooting by. So that's 60 degrees. That's the starting angle. And then the difference angle is 360 divided by n. So it's 360 divided by 3, which is 120. See right here? Difference angle is 360 divided by n. The starting angle is theta divided by n. Got those? Okay. And then part C. The first angle is the starting angle. Then you just add the difference, except keep adding the difference angle to get each new answer, staying under 360. So that looks easy enough, huh? Oops, come back here. Okay, so part C. What do they call those? That's first angle, second angle, third angle, etc. First angle equals starting angle, which is 60. Second, so that's here. Second angle equals 60. Add the difference. Add the 120, which will be 180. So first angle, second angle, third angle. Take the 180 and then add 120 again. And you get 300. Now that's all there's going to be. If you did a fourth angle, if you added 120 again, right? Because 120 is what we're adding every time because that's the difference amount. That's the difference from one angle to the next. That's the jump. That's the difference. So we're adding 120 every time. So if we added 120 one more time, we'd get 420. We'd go over 360. So we're done right there. That's what it says. It says, keep adding the difference angle to get each new answer staying under 360. We can't go over 360. So we're done. Okay. And then root 1 is to put the nth root of r, the new front number, cosine first angle plus I sine first angle. Second one is same thing with second angle, etc. So, and that's, what is that again? That's root 1, root 2. Okay. So I'll say, okay. Root 1 equals the new front number. What's that? The new front number. The new front number is 2. So it's 2 bracket cosine of the first angle, 180 plus I sine 180. And root 2 is again that new front number. Cosine, what's the second angle? Oh, wait, that should have been 60, huh? What am I doing? Let's change that. I was doing the second one. So this is going to be 60. And then the second one will be 180. All right. All right. First angle, second angle, and then third angle is 300. So that's going to be the third one. So root 3 is going to be 2 cosine plus I sine. And that's going to be the 300. So there's the 3 roots, and that's how they want us to type them in, right? Yeah. So that's exactly what they have here. See, it's 2 cosine 60 plus I sine 60, 2 cosine 180 plus I sine 180, and 2 cosine 300 plus I sine 300. That's what you type into those blanks right there. There's our 3 roots, 1, 2, 3. That's the last, yeah, that's all. That's as far as we have to go on this one. So there's our 3 answers, and there we go. That's how we do it. Just as easy as that.